Okay, so number one, if Mr. B traveled 20 miles in 15 minutes, how long? It's not really how long. We're really looking for how far. How far could he go in 1 hour? So setting up those proportions, think about the words. So what words, what are we comparing?
Miles to minutes.
We're comparing miles to minutes.
So would 15 be on the bottom? Yeah.
So then, yeah, fill in the first ratio with what we know. So I know that he can go 20 miles in 15 minutes. And what I don't know, so that's what I know. Here's what I don't know. I don't know how far he can go in an hour. But here's the thing. Good. So I'm comparing miles to minutes, not miles to hours. So I can't put 1 underneath that X because that would mean I'm talking about 1 minute. So I have to convert this 1 hour to minutes. So 60 minutes in an hour.
Oh my God.
So on the bottom, I'm going to put 60 because it said 1 hour, but we're still talking about minutes. And then we can cross multiply, divide. Or can you guys see, can 15 go evenly into 60?
Yes, 4 times.
It can go in there 4 times. So we can multiply the bottom and the top by 4. If you cannot see that, that is okay. Yes, it'll be 80. You can always cross multiply and divide and you'll get the same answer. So he can go 80 miles in an hour. Same type of question on number 2. If Mrs. Hopkins now traveled 30 minutes and she went 40 miles, how long, well, we're looking for how far, not how long. How far for her to travel 1 hour? So we're doing kind of the same thing. What are the words? What are the things that we're comparing?
Miles to minutes.
Miles to minutes again. Well, you could set it up that way. And then we want to fill in what we know. So I know she can go 40 miles in 30 minutes. So then what do I not know? I need to know how many miles she can go in 1 hour. But remember, we were talking about minutes, so I have to put 60 down at the bottom. You can, if it freaks you out to scale up and scale down, you can cross multiply and divide. Or how many times can 30 go into 60? 2. So we can multiply the top and bottom by 2.
Why? They're both 80s?
I mean,
Oh my gosh.
no, they're the same.
Neither. They were the same, right? They went the same amount of miles in the same amount of minutes.
Is that legal?
Okay, number 4, Mrs. Ship, that's me, bought 1.8 pounds of candy for $13.05.
That's me.
What did she pay per pound? If I'm asking you, how much did I pay per pound? How many pounds am I talking about?
1.
1. Anytime you see per, we're talking about 1 item. So I want to see how much I paid for just 1 pound. So the words, the 2 things I'm comparing
Are pounds to money.
right, the money and pounds. Then that first ratio is the information that we know. So I know that it cost me $13.05 for 1.8 pounds.
It's raining. Dang.
And then what did we say that we don't know? The price for 1 pound? So anytime it's asking what it is per pound, think about unit rate. That's really the same. Per whatever is 1 item, so unit rate. And it's the same idea, cross multiplying, divide, or think about just dividing. 13.05 divided by 1.8. If I'm dividing and there's a decimal on the outside of my box, do you remember what to do?
Move it over as many times.
Good. I need to move that outside decimal as many times it takes to get to the end, so just once. So I'm going to move my inside decimal that same number. So just once. And then we'll divide. Okay, so twice. 36. I get a remainder of 9. I'm going to add a 0. So then 18 can go into 90.
5 times.
Let's try it. Good. Thanks, Makai. $7.25 for 1 pound of candy for Mrs. Ship. Yay. Okay. Proportions. If we're looking at shapes, we haven't looked at any of these just yet. So we've got a small rectangle and we've got a big rectangle.
Oh, shoot. Wrong one.
And you can set these up a couple of different ways. I'm going to set them up. I'm going to put small. I'm going to compare small to big. Excuse me. I'm going to compare a small rectangle to the big rectangle. Okay? So we're going to go back and forth kind of. So I'm going to look at the width. I'm going to look at the same side length of both rectangles. And that's how I'm going to set up the first ratio. So I'll set up the width first. So I'm going to put the small length on top, which was 3. Same length, just on the different rectangle, was X. So I don't know. And then I'll do the length. So small I'm going to put on top, 5. Big on the bottom, 12.5. So cross multiply, and then when we divide, we get 7.5. On number 6, what is the constant of proportionality when you spend $51.52 on gas for 23 gallons? Constant of proportionality, don't let those words trip you up. It's really the same as unit rate. Because we're trying to see the constant, how much it changes each time. Should be the same, okay? So then think about our words. What are we comparing?
Money to gallons.
Money to gallons, right? So, and then the first ratio is what we know. The second one is what we don't know. Give me, what do I know? That it costs.
$51.52 for 23 gallons.
Good. So I got my first ratio, 51.52 for 23 gallons. If we're talking about constant of proportionality or unit rate, remember it's talking about the cost of 1. So I'm just going to put 1 on the bottom because I don't know what the price is for 1. So 51.52, excuse me, divided by 23. So the constant proportionality, the price per 1 gallon is 2.24. Goodness, I couldn't get there. Same thing on number 7, the price per gallon. So the price per 1 gallon when you spend $35.25 on 15 gallons of gas. So we know we're comparing money to gallons. We know that it costs $35.25 for 5. So we don't know, we want to know what the price of 1 gallon is. 15 gallons, sorry. The original price was $18. What is the sale price? Okay, since we're talking about percent, I already know that one of my ratios is going to be out of 100 because that's the whole, that's one whole, that's the total price. Okay? And we talked about percent increase and decrease last week. We put the original on the bottom. So the original price, so 1 whole 100% of the price was $18. So I'm putting that on the bottom across from 100. And now we are trying to figure out what the sale price is. So think about it this way. Don't think about the percent that it's discounted. Think about the price that you're paying. So if you paid whole price, that'd be at 100%. If it's 25% off, though, what percent are you actually paying? So 100% minus 25%. 75% is what you are going to pay.
75, I got it right, but like 75 first.
So I'm going to put 75 on top because that's what I'm going to pay. So we're paying 75% of the original price. So that's what your sale price is going to be. And then do the same. Cross multiply and divide. Cross multiply and divide. So 75 times 18. So 13.5 is what you're actually paying. You're paying 75% of the original. So $13.50 instead of $18 because it's on sale. I bought a pair of pants for $15.40 before tax. What was the original price? So that's what I don't know this time. If they were 30% off. So I know 1/2 of it's going to be out of 100 because we're talking about percents. And my original price has got to go on the bottom. But do I know the original price? Did they give me the original price? No, that's what I'm trying to figure out. That's what it's asking me. But how much did I pay? Do I know that?
$15.40.
$15.40. So I can put that up there.
But that's before tax, so wouldn't that be the original price?
Before tax? No.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just saying that's how much I bought it for, and they were 30% off. So I need to figure out what they were before we took 30% off. Okay, so I didn't pay 100% because that would have been the original price. How much did I pay? What percent did I pay? 70, because 100 minus 30% is 70. So I paid 70% of the full price, which is $15.40. So cross multiply and divide. Remember a trick, if you multiply by 100, if you multiply a decimal by 100, you can just move your decimal 2 spaces to the right.
1,540.
Oh,
that is so smart.
Divided by 70. You've seen that.
No, I haven't.
Well, now you have. So 1,540 divided by 70, and we get 22. So $22 was our original price, but we only paid $15.40. So on number 10, we are given all of these expenses. We've got a mortgage, which is a house payment, a car payment, food, groceries, and gas. So this is our monthly budget. So the first thing we want to do, because all of our questions are asking us what percent of the budget was spent on this. So I first need to figure out what my total budget is. So we're going to add all of these expenses up. Thank you, Tyler. And we get 2,000.
I know the answer to the first one.
So when it asks what percent, remember we're doing X over 100 because what percent, and our budget is 2,000. So if it asks what percent was spent on mortgage, I'm going to put 1,000 on top. Okay? Scale. Oh, I couldn't tell if I was recording or not. We can scale up or scale down 50%.
I'm talking about if you.
Okay, then on the next one, what percent of the budget was spent on food or groceries? So same thing, I need to find out what percent, so X over 100 is, and out of 2,000, because that's the total budget, how much did we spend on groceries? $5.50. So we want to cross multiply and divide. So $5.50 or 55,000 once we multiply divided by 2,000. So 27.5%. Last one, what percent of the budget was spent on the car payment? So that's $300. So what percent? So X over 100 And the car payment was $300. Excuse me, corner table. Excuse me. Out of the total budget of $2,000. So same idea. Cross multiply and divide, or we can even scale up. So 15%.
Do we keep it?
If you guys will